Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. Uh, I saw this tag on Saracen's page. He did a fantastic video for it. It's called The Case for Humankind, and it was created by Sailing Through Books. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I um, it's going to be like a show and tell in a way. You'll get it more when you see the prompts. But it's just a really interesting tag, especially for the world the way it is right now. It has been hard for many of us to focus. I know some people are struggling with um, finding the will to um, do much, especially taking time from booktube, taking time from reading, which is hobbies that we usually enjoy. I know that I struggled for a little bit as well, and still some days are harder than others. It's a scary world, and this tag makes you try. Like at first when I was reading it, and basically, an alien race is preparing to destroy the planet, but they have allowed one person to act as their ambassador for the species. You have been chosen to make the case for why humankind should be spared, why they should not be blown up, and so, what books, art, music, films, or any other material objects make you proud to be a human being? What would you share to make a case for humanity? So, that is the prompt. And at first, I was nihilistic like Saracen, and saying, like it's really hard to think of the good right now. But I tried to be optimistic about there are so many great things humanity has done, despite all the wars and the evil things that we have also done. And there are also a lot more good people, I believe, in the world than bad. It's just the bad ones are usually the ones with the money and power to do more than the ones who are good. And so our little side of the internet here on BookTube um, has showed me some really fantastic people. And so that alone makes you proud to be human, to be in accompaniment with so many wonderful people. But anyway, this is my contribution to the tag, so please, it will probably be a little long, so bear with me. And for being a booktube channel, I don't actually have a whole lot of books. It's actually going to be a lot of more of the other stuff. So, 4 books, since one of the prompts is about art. I had read the book Mona's Eyes, and it's about this little girl who's going blind, and her grandpa wants her to see all the wonderful art that there is in the world before that happens, so she has that to look back to. And so once a week he takes her and they look at one art piece, and so he picks all kinds of different artists, ones that we're familiar with. So you get to learn like the back history of Leonardo and Michelangelo, Picasso, even Jackson Pollock, sorry, and Frida, and there's just every chapter is a different work of art and a different artist that you get to explore. And I found it really interesting. It felt like you're going into the museum and having your own tour guide. So I feel like that would be the best way to introduce people to those works before we would then show the aliens their the actual art, so they can kind of have an understanding and stuff of how amazing it is. So they talk about the first person to use black in their paintings, the first person to try different kinds of styles within their art, and different and stuff like that. So when you look at it, it's an amazing work of art, but when you realize that they're the first to have done that they created something completely different, it just gives you this little bit more awe than you already would have had. Another book or series that I would have them read is, I'm sorry, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, just for the immenseness of friendship and what good people can do when they go together to try to stop evil. It doesn't take a whole lot of just brave and good people, and you don't have to have a whole lot. You can be, the smallest hobbit in the room, but you can still make a huge difference. And I think that would be a really great case for us right now. Another one, there's a book called Humankind, which talks about all the different catastrophes and events that happen where humans step forward and did something great. They were helping each other, whether it's, through tsunamis or hurricanes or just kind of these bigger than life events that could have destroyed us, that brings this all together instead. Another one is Endurance by Alfred Lansing. I didn't write the other two artists or the authors' names, but Endurance is a great story about the perseverance and resilience of the human spirit as these group of explorers get stuck down in Antarctica area and have to fight for survival, and none of them die. They all work together and save each other, and they get themselves rescued. They're not even relying on anyone else, because nobody knows where they sank or if they did or what happened to them, so they have to do it all themselves. And so that would be another great one. And then the books that I do have with me, I will always recommend this. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. It's just a very thoughtful story about kindness with simplistic but wonderful art. And I feel like this is the kind of story about friendship and kindness and empathy and possibility that we want to promote in the world. And so this would be one of the best of our showcases for what mankind is capable of in that aspect. And I'm always talking about this book as being one of my favorites. I even did a video of, this is the book that I gift people the most. And just this week, I found out that the author made a sequel last year. I can't believe I wasn't aware of it, so of course I devoured it. It's already a new favorite. This is Always Remember, and essentially always remember you are loved. And so it's actually got even better art than before, because it includes color this time around. And you already know all the characters, so it's just their travel. So this is the boy, the mole, the fox, the horse, and the storm. And there is this phrase in here when the boy wonders, well, what happens if the storm is inside of me? And the horse tells him, shelter with us. And just moments like that, or when they're saying, remember when you're making a list of all the people that you love, remember to include yourself. And just, things about kindness. The little boy wonders if he doesn't think he's good at anything. And the horse tells him, but you're kind, and that's important. And I feel like we need a lot more of this in the world. It's just so beautiful. And then on the back it says, one day you'll look back and realize how hard it was and just how well you did. because we are still here and we all can still make that difference. So those are the books that I would share. And then one more, I'll kind of include it with art, I guess. So this book is just to show you the picture of this art. So The Veiled Virgin, and this is by Giovanni Strazza. The fact that he can make it in a single piece of marble look like there's this veil and you can see within it to the girl's face. Every time I see this sculpture, I haven't gotten to see it up close or in real life, but in pictures, I am just amazed. And that's what I would do, is I would take them to see this sculpture. And Bernini does a lot of amazing things as well. So I would take them to any of his stuff. Just the raw emotion that Bernini can include within his sculptures. You can see the fear, you can see the anguish in his stuff. And I find it utterly remarkable what they were capable of, half a century ago or so. So this one was not, but when you're talking about the Renaissance and stuff, like what Michelangelo and Leonardo could do. So all of those greats, whether it's the sculptures, which I personally enjoy, but you have their paintings, you have works like Starry Night, and you also, no matter what religion you are, or if you're not a religion, what they were capable of doing with the cathedrals back then. The fact that it took hundreds of years to make one, the fact that you have sculptures inside, you have paintings inside, you have, and I just wanted to show this as well, part of my show and tell, is stained glass. And this one was actually it's really dirty because it was actually on our window and the cats get it a lot. My aunt made this. She does stained glass stuff. But just going in there and seeing the vastness of it, knowing that it took somebody's whole lifetime and they never got to see it finished, that is what it means to be human. To create something that you're never going to get. When you plant a tree and you're not going to get the shade of that tree, you're creating it for the generations that come after you. We need to do more of that. We don't do a whole lot of that anymore. It's not thinking, 7 generations ahead like the indigenous cultures here in the United States do. It's thinking about ourselves and about our own loved ones and wanting to pass on that generational wealth and stuff, rather than creating something that is not for you at all, but it's for well beyond you. And that is why I think cathedrals are amazing. Take him to the Egypt to see the pyramids and the vastness of what people can do with their bare hands, and have it still stand the test of time, 3,000 or more years later. And just amazing things that we can accomplish, and yet we don't always do that. We just sent somebody, a group, back up to the moon. The fact that we can do that as humans is something that is worth celebrating and sharing with people who need to remember or need to be taught what humanity truly is capable of, because we're capable of so much good. So it's hard not to kind of get onto like a soapbox type of here, but when we're trying to save humanity, I guess that's what we got to do. And then so that's kind of art included. Art, I guess this is not just, this is kind of going to go with like what other materials would you share with them as well. So Art can be anything. So I got this beautiful wood carving when I was in El Salvador, and the detail that he made, and I love elephants anyway, but art is found in all places. I also do, I guess in my channel name you'll know about blacksmithing, and so you know, this is, instead of just having a display case, you know, somebody made that, and I think it's cool. A kid did in his homeroom class. Art can be knives and swords and daggers don't have to be used for ill. I love the fact, and this is a bad example, it's my first attempt at making a Damascus blade, but the detail that goes in it as you fold all the, you know, make layers upon layers of it to try to get a really cool design. You know, tell me that something like this isn't art. So we are so capable of doing art, and I love that we can. And so now going to movies, since it still includes art, I would also show them Arcane is a fantastic movie, or TV series rather, but the artwork on this alone, I wish I had more. I have art in my room of Arcane all over. I have t-shirts and stuff. The art in this movie or this series is fantastic, as well as I really enjoy the art on the Into the Spider-Verse movies. Absolutely fantastic art and creation and stuff there. And so other films that I would show, Dead Poets Society, the inspiration that we have for mentors, for teachers, for people who see us and inspire us to greatness. Always will be sports. The Mighty Ducks and Rudy are fantastic movies about inspiration and coming together as a team, as humans, and creating something great. Especially if you were a no one before or looked down upon for both of those movies. Sports in general, though, celebrating the Olympics, we just recently did this year, and getting to see the elite athletes and what they can accomplish and how death-defying and like gravity-defying some of their feats are. It just no matter who it is from any country, it just makes you so excited to be human. When I was watching the figure skating, so not just the figure skating, but the ice dancing, it just blows your mind what they're capable of. Their sport, but their art and elegant, and then you also incorporate music, and you can't watch something like that and not feel something afterwards. And I don't know if other countries do it, but in the United States, when we're watching the Olympics, they highlight, you know, the different stories of the athletes. So you don't get to just see them as this elite athlete, you know, representing their country, but you get to see them as the human being who put in the work, who struggled through different adversity than we realized, because they don't broadcast any of that, that they go through injuries and they still want to come back because it's something that they love. That kind of passion is something that I would want to highlight for mankind, when the passion is towards something, and a greatness that can be inspirational rather than a greatness that takes all the air out of the room and makes you feel small. Other movies, It's a Wonderful Life. I think once in a while we need to be reminded that our lives matter no matter who we are. I really also do enjoy Rebel Without a Cause. It's much sadder than Everyone, but if you have to watch that movie and not feel something for the kids who are suffering, for the kids who are not seen. There's a part in there where Natalie Wood's character says that she always struggled because she always wanted to feel loved, and she never did. She that's all she wanted in her life. But then she loved somebody, and that was enough. Like, we just need to love more, without accepting or expecting things in return. And ordinary, no ordinary angel is, or angel or angels. Hilary Swank was in it. It's based on a true story about a little girl who, I don't remember what kind of transplant she needs, but the whole town comes together because she finally gets called on the list. But when you get on the list, you know, as soon as they have your organ ready for donation, you have to get there within a certain amount of time. And there was this snowstorm, and they couldn't get anyone, like the roads were closed. They couldn't get anyone to land to take them to the airport or where they needed to go. And the whole town came together. They shoveled the roads, they shoveled the space for a helicopter to land, put their own coats and stuff down so the helicopter could see it in the snowstorm, and stuff like that. When ordinary people do fantastic things for others, is another one. And then I think those are the movies, except for Sinners, the perfect movie. So yes, it is historical fiction as in a way. It's a horror story about vampires. It has the best music and scenes regarding music that I've ever seen. The cinematography in this film could also technically make it, if you want to squint, a musical. And so it literally has absolutely everything that you could want. And this is, it shows what we are capable of when we create unique and new things rather than keep rehashing old things. You know, all our remakes, all of our retellings, all of our sequels upon sequels of stuff. It was original, and this was fantastic, and everybody should watch it. So now for music. Speaking of music, a couple of them would be musicals, so it could go with movies as well. The Les Miserables musical, and specifically the song On My Own. You cannot listen to that song and not cry. I got to finally see it last year live for the first time, and I had goosebumps. That's one of my all-time favorite songs. Another one from the Rent musical is Will I Lose My Dignity? So it's a story about the AIDS epidemic that was going around, and this guy is dying, and his friends are all around him, and they sing this song about what dignity is in life and in death, and will you lose it as your body's fighting itself, and you're getting weaker, and you're just struggling to know your place in the world, and if you will be remembered or forgotten, or if you'll be remembered for being this sick person who died. It's once again really touching. And always For Good, the Wicked musical, changing somebody for the better or for the worse, but every time we interact with people, we're changed for good, as in we're different through each interaction. And it's about, for me, making sure that interaction is good and not bad. I guess I would throw in another book that I just remembered through here would be 13 Reasons Why. When I read that when I was younger, I took that as way not to be. So this young girl who dies by suicide writes letters and has a videotape talking about, or cassette tape talking about each thing a person did that chipped away at her spirit, at her soul, at her will to live anymore, and how all those things compiled into being her reason why. And it's been considered controversial now. They made a TV show that almost glorified some of those aspects. But the book itself, what I took away reading it was I never wanted to be anyone else's reason why. And it makes any interaction I have with people, I come from a place of trying to make their day better and not worse, not trying to pile on to their already scrambling and avalanche of a world that they have. So that one would kind of be included, I guess, for this to go with that song. Other ones I just put in, I'm going to put these videos because they're going to be people that, I didn't know. I just found videos of people that I follow that just astounds me of what they can do with their instruments. So what they can do with guitars, what they can do with their voice, what they can do with a piano or a cello or a violin. So I'm just going to put a whole bunch of videos that I hope you just take the time to watch, because it blows me away what they're capable of. And then just some of my favorite versions, I guess, of these songs that I talked about. And then I will never not recommend the song Landslide. It was originally Fleetwood Mac, but anyone who makes this song, the Chicks, originally the Dixie Chicks, formerly, I guess, the Chicks now, Glee did a version of Landslide. Like, any version that someone does of Landslide, it's always going to be an absolutely fantastic song. So that one would be one. And I think that is everything except my last show and tell, talking about music, talking about art, talking about things that we would want to share with the world. I have a handmade original guitar. And one of my favorite shows at the time when I got this is the 100, or was the 100. So it says death is not the end, which I guess kind of fits with this category of not having us all destroyed. And so these are all representative of a character on there, and then also on the back. So I love this. And there is a story behind it. I play for myself. I don't play for, like, I'm not great. When I broke my arm, I had to try to relearn everything anyway, so I'm not great at it. I just like to sit out on my front porch in the summertime and play. It kind of, even more than reading can do, it just almost lessens the stress, lessens the load, just allows me to feel and to breathe again, I guess, in some instances. But the reason that I got this, it's an original piece. There was 2 of them made, and I won it in an auction with amongst my friends. A friend of a friend made it. And so when I was younger, I had a family friend who was one of the best musicians I'd known. He was a teenager, a prodigy. He made his own guitars and stuff like that. He was always gonna teach. He was starting to teach me. He said, once I get good, I'm gonna make you a guitar. And he ended up dying by over a drug overdose when he was 17. And I never picked up a guitar again. I always still loved music. I always still wanted to play, but it was so hard to be excited about learning it when I had those thoughts in mind. So when this guitar was shown, and it showed one of my favorite shows, and it's this original beautiful thing that you can hold and feel good about, I got it because that's what I wanted to learn to play guitar on. Something that was homemade, because he wouldn't be able to make me one, and just play it for myself and nobody else. And so now I have a different guitar that I play on, because this one is my special one that I have displayed. But being able to play it for myself, and hold it, especially this really cool guitar, in my hands for the first time, made it not a bad memory, as I'm learning to play, but a bittersweet following through on a promise of learning, for somebody who's not around to see it anymore. And so that's why I have it, and that's why I play, and why I started again. And I feel like when we share human stories, real stories with each other, that is the best way to remember our humanity and the humanity within others. So I guess that's my response to this tag, my little soapbox speech, my I guess little show and tell event. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it's not too long, and I hope that you do take the time to listen to the videos that I'm going to share down below, because talk about transcendent experiences. Just listening to some of the people and what they can do with a single instrument is astounding, and I really hope that you come away and appreciate that kind of humanness that we have access to within ourselves and within each other, and to always look for that when you're interacting or in a new situation. Anyway, it was not specifically tagged for this, but I wanted to share my my favorites, my thoughts, and my things with you. I guess I wanted to share my humanity with you. So as always, thank you for watching. But also a reminder that I say every once in a while: you are enough. You matter. You are loved. I see you. I'm glad that you exist. Please stay. Thank you, and have a great day.